Welcome to Drive It, DW's car show. In this edition, two people carriers go head-to-head, the Ford Galaxy and the Seat Alhambra. We check out the Formula One safety car and the new Audi A4. Audi's revamped 8th generation of the A4 is ready for action. And the new model has not just been given a visual makeover. It's now both sportier and more efficient than its predecessor. The new A4 is available in 3 versions: a sedan, wagon, and all-road quattro. We checked out the sedan. Audi's designers made the A4's contours quite a bit crisper, explains Sven Deckert, so it's now more dynamic and agile. The front has obviously been redone, and the rear also looks more elegant. Typically for Audi, there's a wide range of transmission options in the A4 family. The sedans and Avant wagon are standard fitted with a 6-speed manual shift. Most models can have the continuously variable Multitronic as an optional extra. The gear ratios have a very wide spread. That helps to improve fuel economy in higher gears and also translates into extra dynamism in the lower gears. The new A4 has a very balanced exterior. The elegant design also incorporates sporty touches. The headlamps have been completely refashioned. They're now more wedge-shaped with a slight wave at the bottom edges. The indicator lights are arranged in a strip on the top edge of each headlamp. An adaptive light system, including dynamic cornering and turning lights, is available as an optional extra. The A4 is now available in over a dozen body finishes, ranging from brilliant red and teak brown metallic to Ibis white. There's something for everyone. The design of the front headlamps is revisited in the rear lamps, with optional strips of LEDs. The rear lights now have a flatter look, says Audi's Sven Deckert. It makes the car appear closer to the road. The result is a more dynamic and modern look. And the rear lamps are also more modern in terms of content. Audi introduced a homogeneous strip of lights, and the LED elements help give the new A4 an unmistakable look, especially at night. On the inside, the A4 has a sporty, tidy look. In the top equipment version, Ambient, the A4 is almost like a small A8. The A4 has internet access, like the flagship, but it also boasts nearly as much in terms of comfort, suspension sophistication, and assist systems. The interior offers solid functionality and ample space. The A4 now offers electromechanical servo steering. Sven Deckert says the new steering makes the cornering response even more precise. Our A4 has 125 kilowatts of power and makes the dash to 100 kilometers per hour in 8.1 seconds. Top speed is 230. Official fuel consumption is 5.7 liters for 100 kilometers. The A4 has seen changes in design and technical features. They will be enough to keep up with its contemporaries. Well, until the next generation hits the roads in 3 years' time.
Family vans.
People carriers are typically associated with staid, no-nonsense types with big families, says Matis Kurat. Plus, people carriers aren't much fun to drive. Models like the Seat Alhambra or Ford Galaxy, however, they're out to prove the skeptics wrong. And today, we're going to put them to the test. First up is the Ford Galaxy. And the first impression is certainly on the positive side. Our carman likes the high-caliber feel inside the Ford Galaxy. The handsome dashboard boasts great workmanship and nice materials. But while he finds the piano black finish a nice idea, with 4,500 kilometers on the clock, it's totally scratched down here around the parking brake. What would it look like after 40,000 kilometers, he wonders. Matas likes the feel at the wheel. The steering wheel sits comfortably in your hands. The pedals are fine and always provide nice feedback to the driver. The Galaxy we tested has a 2.2-liter diesel engine with 147 kilowatts of power. It went from 0 to 100 in 8.8 seconds. Fuel consumption is relatively low for a vehicle of this size. According to the manufacturer, it needs an average of 6.8 liters for 100 kilometers. A nice feature here, says our car expert, is this panoramic mirror. It gives you full view of what's going on the rear seats. Right now there's not much happening because there are no small children on board. But when you do have kids sitting there, you can keep an eye on them. And there are plenty of storage options up above where you can stow all kinds of stuff. But Matas does wonder how you're supposed to access them. Nice ideas don't always turn into practical ones. In this case, Ford evidently had the passengers at heart. They can rummage around without having to worry about driving. So what about the design? The two rivals have a very similar look. The Galaxy has a range of decorative chrome elements to brighten up the exterior. Total length is 4 meters, 82 centimeters. The center console has a very clear configuration. The parking brakes design is reminiscent of an airplane throttle control. The roof lets a lot of light into the interior. The result is a very pleasant atmosphere. The Seat Alhambra likewise boasts plenty of chrome. It measures 4 meters 85 in length, 3 centimeters longer than the Galaxy. The center console is a bit more crowded than in the Galaxy, but you can locate all the controls you need equally quickly. The panoramic roof means the Alhambra's interior gets more light than its rival. There's plenty of space in the second row of seats, decides our car expert, and getting out is easy via a sliding side door. The Ford Galaxy has a regular door, but there's just as much space behind it. With both models, the seats can be shifted forwards and backwards to provide enough legroom for anyone sitting in the third row. The two people carriers are both champions on the cargo capacity front. The Alhambra, on the left, can normally pack 267 liters of luggage. When you fold down seats 6 and 7, however, that increases to 1,167 liters. The stats for the Galaxy are 308 and 1,260 liters, respectively. The Alhambra has one big advantage. Folding away the seats is far easier than with the Galaxy. Galaxy Matas gets defensive, pointing out that folding up the seats is no faster with the Alhambra, plus full capacity is 93 liters more. Time to put the Seat Alhambra through its paces. And here the first impression is also positive. What you really notice is that it's related to Volkswagen, Seat's parent company, in a good way. The times when you really could say that Seat was just a budget version of VW are over. This vehicle has good quality materials. Everything looks good and feels good. Matas points out an advantage over the Ford. The child safety locks for the doors and windows on both sides have separate controls. Matas likes the feel of the steering wheel and how it makes you feel close to the road. The direct shift gearbox, or DSG, does take some getting used to. Getting going seems sluggish. The Seat is powered by a 2-liter diesel engine with 125 kilowatts of power. The Alhambra takes 9.8 seconds to make the dash to 100 kilometers per hour, a good second slower than the Ford Galaxy. but it compensates with a superior fuel economy. Official consumption is 5.9 liters of diesel for 100 kilometers. That's almost 1 liter less than the Galaxy. What's not as good as in the Galaxy is the electronic instrument cluster. All we have here is a black and white onboard computer, although it does do its job just as well. And the winner is? These vehicles are not just for staid and boring drivers with big families, concludes Mattes. They're a lot of fun to drive and have a very wide range of equipment features. But they do cost extra. Both models start at around 30,000 euros. But in the versions you see here, they cost around 40,000. That's a lot of money, of course. But you do get a lot. Deciding which one of the two is better is tough, he says. They both have their strengths and their weaknesses. Mattes calls it a draw.
Für mich sind beide Autos gleich gut, haben ihre Stärken und Schwächen und deswegen läuft es bei mir auf ein Unentschieden raus.
Mini has launched the convertible version of its coupe, the Mini Roadster. The base model sports a 90-kilowatt gasoline engine and sells for just under 22,600 euros. The Roadster also comes in the Cooper S version, as well as the SD Diesel and the Power Pack John Cooper Works Edition. In Germany, they all go on sale in mid-February. Mercedes has launched a souped-up version of the high-performance ML63 AMG. The newcomer features a 5.5-liter V8 twin-turbocharged engine that boasts a maximum torque of 700 Newton-meters. The SUV will go on the market in mid-April and sell in Germany for around 109,000 euros. The countdown begins. BMW is gearing up to reinvent the automobile. Although the official starting bell won't sound till later this year or early 2013, we're already being offered a glimpse of the concept cars to whet our appetite. The i3 and i8 are the first two installments in the i Group, which BMW is planning as a low or even zero-emission series. The i3 concept car is the fully electric version in compact city format, while the i8 is the sporty, all-around hybrid that features an electric motor backed up with a low-consumption diesel engine. The i3 concept is the true innovation. Ulrich Kranz, manager of BMW's iGroup project, explains that the i3 is an exceptionally agile vehicle. It's light in weight and has a low center of gravity for optimal stability and handling. Continuing in the BMW tradition, the i3 promises sporty and dynamic city driving. The interior features an innovative architecture that provides substantially more room than conventional technology. The secret behind the spacious interior is a horizontal split variant of BMW's Life Drive concept, which minimizes the room needed for the car's electric drive system. The i3 City Slicker generates an output of 125 kilowatts and sprints from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 8 seconds. Top speed is 150 kilometers per hour, and the maximum range is about 160 kilometers. The chassis features the signature Life Drive concept for maximum flexibility and weight reduction. The Life model containing the driver and passengers is brand new and was designed using a novel featherweight carbon fiber reinforced plastic. It's only half the weight of steel, but exceptionally rigid and robust. This modular architecture helped BMW keep the weight down, explains Ulrich Kranz. That's why the i-cars can get by with fewer batteries, which also minimizes the most expensive components. The Bavarians also teamed up with SGL Carbon, one of the leading manufacturers of carbon products. They supply the carbon fiber in large volumes, which is also helping to keep costs down. The i-styling has already arrived in the future, but BMW still has to put the final touches on the design before the i3 and i8 are ready to hit the road. Adrian van Hooydonk, head of design at BMW, explains that modular architecture also results in a car that's a bit taller than normal, which he says is especially suited for urban commuting. The driver has excellent all-around visibility, enhanced by the large glass panels on the roof, doors, and rear hatch. The i3 battery can be fully recharged in 6 hours at a standard power socket. At a high-speed charger, it achieves an 80% charge in half an hour. Takeoff is scheduled a year from now, and there's still plenty of scope for more versions. If BMW manages to convert the concept into road models at competitive prices, the I Group may well be a glimpse into our automotive future.
Beetle.
Our car expert Konstantin Bimes is taking a drive down memory lane. The VW Bug, what it might have lacked in amenities, is more than made up for its personality. And many an amateur mechanic will remember replacing a buzzed engine right there on the driveway. With only 3 screws, dismounting the engine was a snap. It's not there. And remember driving off for the summer holiday? The children squeezed in the back seat, watching our parents struggle to load all the suitcases in the front luggage compartment. Wait, it's already occupied. And the front dashboard, remember that? It's where our grandparents had a vase with a flower in it. Like the first Bug or Beetle, under the hood the updated version sports Golf technology. That means front-wheel drive, of course, and an optional gasoline or diesel engine. The base model clocks in at 77 kilowatts, while the souped-up GTI engine manages 147 kilowatts. The old Bug topped out at 40. The Beetle interior is different as well. It feels like we're sitting a meter from the front window. In the Bug, the driver was perched right up front. A good thing, too, since we often had to do a blow and wipe on the front window. Outside, we had the windshield wiper. The button was right about here, smack in the middle of the dashboard. The redesigned Beetle aims to incorporate more of the classic icon. Not quite as round and a bit more compact, and not quite as playful. There's even a hint of the original running boards. And a rear spoiler. Will Bug connoisseurs go for it? We asked a few vintage Bug fans, men who cherish the true original. It's missing a certain something. For example, the rear engine here doesn't have the unforgettable sound of the original. What about the rear spoiler? It's a bit skimpy, he says. The verdict, a cute modern car, but not a Bug. The interior boasts some Golf details. But the glove compartment is almost the way we remember it. Only the handle isn't quite the same. The material used to have a more solid feel to it. And will this stay elastic for the life of the car? But today's seats are more comfortable. As we know from the Guinness Book of World Records, an old Bug can fit 57 people. In the new Beetle, we didn't quite manage it. And what about the headroom? Our passenger says headroom is a bit of a problem, but it's not entirely the car's fault. The strap here is definitely a reminder of the good old days. The base price starts at 17,000 euros, and that's for a low-frills car that doesn't even come standard with air conditioning. Compared to the Golf, the new Beetle is a bit more affordable. Konstantin Beim says the redesigned Beetle has as much to do with the bug as a laptop with a typewriter. And we saw what hardcore bug fans thought of it. But the new Beetle is very distinctive for people who might not be so bound by tradition. For you young folks out there, of course the old Bug had a rear-mounted engine. And of course the luggage compartment was up front. And even the very last Bug model still had one irreplaceable bit of equipment: the vase on the dashboard. Just a few weeks to go until the new Formula One season begins. Time to take a closer look at the safety car, a Mercedes SLS AMG. Bernd Mailänder has been at the wheel of the safety car for the last 12 years, leading the field for the cream of motorsports. And that job has seen him in action at all the circuits racetracks the world over. He's called out whenever there's a hazardous situation. The Formula One safety car, he explains, is deployed in cases of danger. That means a serious crash where the vehicle cannot be removed from the track immediately. Also, of course, in the case of extreme rain. These situations are neutralized by the safety car, but the laps covered still count. The safety car was first used at the 1973 Canadian Grand Prix. Mercedes-Benz began supplying the safety cars in 1996. Formula One has seen 9 different models since then. Bernd Mailänder has a range of signals at his disposal to coordinate the traffic behind him. He's going to show us his setup. The most important button is this one for turning on the orange light. The light goes on when the car goes out onto the track. And he can see which light is on up here. And he tends to drive out with the flashlights on as well. That's the silver button. The flashlights are visible at the front and rear. If he doesn't come out in front of the leading car, he has to sort the field behind him. Then he has a green light, but he uses it very rarely. It allows him to use 2 green displays to tell cars that they can overtake him. The blue button here is for the siren. Best not turn it on, he says. We'd all lose our hearing. Then there are 2 monitors. He watches the race and gets information via the monitors. The time monitor tells him how each driver is performing. He can call up their current lap times. There are 2 different radio frequencies. There's digital radio via the top red button, plus analog radio. So you always have one line working if a problem crops up. Race control tells us everything we need to know inside the car. It's race control who makes the decisions, not Bat. He just provides information. Once the safety car is out, everyone has to follow it, and that can try your patience. It's a bit boring behind the safety car, admits Formula One legend Michael Schumacher. It's a massive difference in terms of power and speed. You have to be careful to keep your tires warm, explains colleague Nico Rosberg. And your brakes, too. You have to keep on introducing brake force and turning left and right to warm up the tires. When the race restarts, the car is never 100% warm in terms of the tires. The introduction of the safety car can have a huge influence on the outcome. Leads can be whittled down to nothing, sometimes ruining a race strategy. But safety has top priority, and nothing but the best will do here.
The
SLS AMG, says Bernd Mailänder, is the perfect safety car because it's a super sports car. It has everything such a car needs: a really powerful engine and a lower center of gravity. Plus the direct shift gearbox, 571 horsepower and 650 Newton meters of torque are plenty of power. The transmission on the rear axle gives the car a special balance. The car also has ceramic brakes, which are extremely effective. And there's the double wishbone, which makes the steering response and the entire suspension very, very good. That's why Bernd considers it ideal as the Formula One safety car. And next time on Drive It, the new CC from Volkswagen. And out and about with the 1965 Austin Mini.